What is, what was, and what will be start here with the words, in the beginning there was...
Hello and welcome to the newest episode of Bearded Game Masters for 2019. Woo! As always, my name is Ron, and I'm joined with today with Mike.
Quake was a good game.
Quake was a good game. Yes.
Sorry, I found the boomer meme and I've been loving it ever since.
Enjoying every minute of it. Yeah,
absolutely.
So, yeah, like I said, this is the newest episode for 2019. Hopefully, starting very soon, we might be able to get more on a set schedule with this if life doesn't get in the way.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a big if, it doesn't get in the way.
Yeah, no, real life thing, job situations. Yeah.
Oh, just all the fun stuff of being an adult.
Mm-hmm. Licensing exams, kids, they're fun.
Oh, yeah, right? Yeah. So we haven't forgotten about all of maybe 10 people who maybe listen to this.
12. We're bumping it up.
All right, 12 people who listen to this. So today we've got a little bit of a plethora, if you will, of news that we found pretty interesting that we want to talk about. So I guess the best way to start this off is just going, head first.
Absolutely.
And so anyone who's listening who's an Aliens fan, don't you worry. Let me tell you about the new mobile game coming your way.
Betrayal.
Yes. A new Aliens game has been basically. Well, I'm not going to go with teased. Everyone knows it's coming
out. Yeah, there's a trailer for it too.
Yeah, and it unfortunately isn't the previous Aliens game that we had gotten. That was actually
Isolation.
Good.
Yeah. Oh, love it. Can't play it, but love it.
Yeah. Never finish it, but I love looking at it. It has a very nice box. I get as far as
the menu screen. Great music and great setting there, and then I just quit.
Yeah.
Worth the money.
Unfortunately, it's not that. We're getting a what I've seen
Five Nights at Freddy's?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Which
it was fun, but it's this is kind of done to death now.
Yeah, I mean, supposedly there is going to be an actual Aliens title, proper one coming out, but
right.
It's not.
Yeah, we don't know anything other than it's going to be an MMO shooter, maybe, and I hate to think it's going to be another battle royale.
Well, I mean, if I'm hearing the MMO shooter, I'm thinking almost Destiny-esque, if you will. Which
I wish at the time I had the ability to play it, but they did have a MMO shooter before, long before, decades ago, a million years ago, and it was basically it's basically AVP. Now there's no Predator in it, but it's basically Marines versus Marines and the aliens, and you had that asymmetrical, warfare where the Marines had the weapons and the aliens just run real fast and then they get you. Yeah, and it was all online, and that was great. It was canceled. Oof. Geez, I can't remember when, but I remember they had that game. It was Aliens Online. I think that's what it was called. Aliens Online. And I mean, if they bring that back, obviously it was very Doom clone-ish back then. But if they bring it back with a more updated look, I'd be willing to take a look at it. It's online, so it's probably got microtransactions. But
I mean, it's at this day and age, that's just
it's a given. It's a given, right?
It's a given thing. Which, yeah, that actually makes me think of something that I'll get into later on here.
Okay.
So Yeah, we're getting.
I just want Alien Isolation 2.
I mean,
they could just take it so much further with the Alien. Have it go on the walls and the ceiling. You know.
Yeah.
That'd be a new thing. I know when they were developing Alien Isolation, they did have the alien bust random cabinets and lockers in its attempt to find you, and that was pretty cool. The problem is that you usually run out of lockers because eventually the AI will just default into just doing that, and they just couldn't really control it very well, and they're like, well, they gave up on it. But maybe by now they could probably figure something out. The problem is also Creative Assembly. Everyone who worked on that game is already gone. So you know, it's gonna be a little hard to get the band back together. I'd like to see that happen. You know, this is the game I wanted. Can't play it, but this is the game I wanted. Glad I have it. Can't play it though.
Yeah.
Too much of a chicken shit.
Like I said, it has very nice box art.
I'm telling you, the main menu, the music, perfect, spot on.
Yeah.
Can't play it. Nope.
Yeah, I mean, I've gone through it. I've done it like bits and pieces. Like I'll go through it very slowly. Not that I don't like the game. I do. I'm just a pansy when it comes to well, pretty much anything like that.
Yeah.
But so yes, Aliens fans, you are getting another game. Mobile fans, hey, you're getting an Aliens game. I'm not sure if this is what anybody wanted, but I mean, hey, I guess there's that possibility it might actually be good or fun, at least.
I just hate to see Amanda Ripley's character be tossed around and just abused.
I mean, it's
they did a good job.
There's still a good chance. I mean, there's still a chance that it might actually be a decent game, which, I mean, if it is, because I guess it's at least it's not another Colonial Marines. Yeah, fingers crossed there.
Yep.
But speaking of mobile, we've gotten another little piece of interesting. I think this is kind of interesting. So Niantic, the people who basically help, or not help, but put Pokemon Go out.
They are Pokemon Go. Yeah.
Yeah. They are. They raised $190 million in funding for a Harry Potter, AR mobile game. So assuming this is like for, I mean, I don't know how it would be, like how it would run.
I guess it's just be like Fantastic Beats the game.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Which,
I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not much of a Harry Potter person, but I mean, that would be my guess. I mean, you're going to have all that stuff.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm a bit of a Harry Potter fan, so like if that's the thing that comes out, like I would check it out.
Oh yeah.
It could be fun. I mean, Pokemon Go was that was a blast for like the first initial month that it was out.
Yeah, that came and went, but you still get people walking around playing the game.
Oh, of course, yeah. Especially when Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee came out, like that just. Hey, let's go play this more because you can transfer stuff and whatnot. But I mean, yeah, there's still definitely people who play it. But I mean, I used to remember. I mean, Jesus, I would see like little parties of people having like cookouts and drinks and standing with their phones out catching fake Pokemon, in certain places that just, it doesn't happen anymore. But a lot of that, I think, was probably because there were a lot of issues with the game there at launch, and then people just lost interest. Yeah,
I mean, you had situations where you had a Mewtwo on somebody's private property.
Yeah, but I mean, it still is a wildly popular and successful game. I mean, they're still making buttloads of money.
They've kind of worked out the kinks on that, especially when it comes to private property situations. But
I mean, now if they did that, hey. The Harry Potter one might actually launch a hell of a lot better.
Yeah, and then you can go from there, obviously, with other augmented reality games.
Oh yeah, of course.
Everything's going mobile.
What was that?
Everything's going mobile.
I mean, as much as I don't even like to say it, it is a successful market, if you will, depending on what you're putting on there.
Nintendo, you're slacking. You've been the king of mobile games since 1988.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, they have their own mobile titles coming out. What was it? The Fire Emblem for your the mobile version of Fire Emblem's pretty successful. I mean, I don't know about in the States, but I know over in Asia it is. Japan it is. But yeah, so there's that. Also, like this is some pretty big news here.
Oh, this is the big one. This one shook everybody.
Yeah, this is one that I made sure to take notes on. Well, just at least put a note on there because this is something I definitely wanted to talk about. But Bungie, Bungie walking away from Activision and actually, you know, bringing their franchise with them, you know.
Good for you, Bungie.
Standing ovation there from Mike.
You did it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, Bungie went independent. They're going to self-publish. They're going to run this train themselves. I'm optimistic.
I still see the Destiny game on the Blizzard launcher, but you know,
I imagine you'll see it there for probably some time more, and then it'll
disappear.
Well, because you know what? Here's the thing. I wonder because they have that integrated now into like BattleNet launcher, and then like actually just the BattleNet launcher. Like I imagine they could probably do like a patch or something to get that out of there.
They'll patch it out. They'll probably do a transition. I mean, they walked away, but I'm sure there's still some legal paperwork. Lawyers still need some legal
stuff going on.
And it takes a while to get Mervin's stapler out of the office. So
they so I'm going to be optimistic on this and hope that like I wish them the best of luck. Like I think Destiny has been in a pretty decent spot since not the Taken King. Oh my God, where they killed Cade. Oh, I'm having a brain fart.
I never got a chance to play Destiny. So
Forsaken? So just skip the first one. You don't.
Okay.
You really don't need to touch it. The second one, like this story on it's not too bad, and then they go to, oh man, I can't believe I forgot what the hell it's called. And I have it. Like that's the thing that's killing me. Like I have it.
Maybe you'll be able to jog your memory, but let's.
Yeah.
With Bungie walking away from Activision, of course, this raised a lot of eyebrows about could Blizzard do this?
No, because they're like
they're too joined at the hip, huh?
Well, I mean, it's Activision Blizzard. You know, that's the parent company, and then underneath it is Activision and Blizzard. You know, Destiny was just, I'm not Destiny. Bungie was just, you know, they were just having these guys, you know, produce it for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were just the financial backers for this project.
It raised a lot of hope, though.
I mean, it did. And then there's people out there who were better, you know, informed on that. Like, what the hell was it? Bellular did one where he talked about that, which is worth taking a look if that's something that you're interested in listening to. I mean, he goes over it a hell of a lot better than what I ever could.
That man doesn't sleep.
No, he really doesn't. No, he doesn't. No. But... You know, so here's where it's going to be a little bit of a catch-22, though. I think for Bungie is like I want them like I'm hoping now that they've gone like maybe a lot of like the stuff that people were having issues with. You could like the Eververse, for example. I mean, you know, that was, you know, Activision had their hands in that game. All right. And I'm hoping that, you know, them not being in the picture anymore might change a few things around and actually like make it even better. But where my fear is that, you know, Bungie no longer has that the fallback guy, if you will. Like if you know, something sucks in Destiny and people don't like it, you know, you can blame Activision because it's, you know,
the thought came to my mind that if Bungie is now their own company and they're not part of Activision, I would think it'd be easier for Bungie to take a stroll down to Redmond, Washington and say, hey, Microsoft, you want to do another Halo with us?
I mean, it's definitely possible.
I mean, it's just a joint effort. I mean, that happens all the time. And, you know, let's face it, Bungie is Halo.
Oh, I mean, yeah, pretty much anyone who's grown up on that's the first thing you're gonna think of.
That could be a fallback where they're not underneath Microsoft's wing, but obviously, I mean, Microsoft. My understanding is Microsoft owns the franchise rights.
Yeah,
but I think anybody anyone who's a Halo fan would see, hey, if they make a game with Bungie developing it, boy, that's gonna sell like hotcakes.
Yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah, as opposed to some other third-party, developer that no one heard of who's got the license to do something with Halo.
Mm-hmm.
Fans are going to want to see that Bungie logo.
I mean, I Bungie. You're never going to listen to this, but hey, best of luck to you guys. Don't let me down.
Yep.
And you knocked it out of the park with Forsaken. And keep up the good work. I guess it's really the best thing I could say. I'm really hoping that they keep the franchise going. Because for the most part, like, Destiny's not a bad game. It's kind of fun. I've enjoyed it plenty of times.
Mm-hmm.
It gets through some spots where it's kind of like, but for the most part,
every game's like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So got my fingers crossed for them.
So going back to Nintendo,
what you got, buddy?
There's a little bit of depressing news. They're going to shut down the Wii shop at the end of the month. In fact, by the time I get this up to SoundCloud, it's going to be shut down completely.
Cue, sad violin music.
Mm-hmm. So if you got a game on the Wii, that doesn't go away, but you'll never be able to re-download it again.
So run quick, download everything that you can.
Everything. If you spent a dime on it, grab it. I don't know what the storage space on a Wii is compared to the Wii U or the Switch, but I'm assuming it's an actual hard drive in there, so it should be enough space for all your retro ROMs. Yeah,
I mean, to be fair too, those files aren't very big either.
No. I mean, no, you could fit all the Nintendo ROMs on a DVD.
Yeah,
easy.
But
Super Nintendo, probably 2 or 3 DVDs though. They're bigger.
Yeah, but this is like, so one, it actually is kind of like a sad thought, like, because Jesus Christ, that shop's been around forever. But this is where my personal issues with like digital only games.
Right.
Like, so what sucks is because had I still owned a Nintendo Wii, like, I could go download Mario 64 again and like maybe not hit my computer so everything shakes. Sorry. I could go re-download Mario 64 and like Super Mario RPG and stuff that like I had purchased on my Wii U when I had that, and that was a thing, that right. Nintendo was really trying. I don't have either of those anymore, so unfortunately, I can't just go re-download them and at least have I have access to at least one of the 2 titles that I made. But anyway, right. Point of the story is like that's where my issue is because eventually when this happens, then like if you don't remember to download everything that you may have purchased, right. or go purchase stuff and then download them if you still can buy things, you're SOL.
Yeah, and I mean, Nintendo can solve this by just having a common shop for all their platforms. So if
I wish.
I know, and Nintendo's never going to do that. I mean, no, they're never going to do that. Even if Sony and Microsoft pull that off, Nintendo will always never do that.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Nintendo, but it's easier to have you pay, $8 for the same game 4 different times rather than just buying it once and having access to it, on
the thing is, though, it gets me is that there's a lot of people who bought the Wii because it was actually like the first kind of Roku system. I know people who got the Wii solely to have Netflix. Mm-hmm. You can't re-download Netflix once the Wii shop shuts down on the Wii. Mm-hmm. All right. So yeah, that's a problem. Yeah, that's a problem. This is why, I mean, Steam is the big guy with PC games. I understand that. Mm-hmm. But this is why if I had a choice between a Steam download and the Good Old Games download, I always go for the Good Old Games because there's no DRM on it. I could just go ahead, download the files, and hold on a physical copy. I can burn it onto a DVD or a set of DVDs, and that's mine. All right. So if World War III happens, the internet shut down, I still got my copy of Witcher 3.
Yeah.
And no one can take that away from me.
Yeah.
Except for an invading army.
Well, that's beside the point. Of course. But that's the risk that you run into, unfortunately, when you get to the digital age that we're in.
Right. And this raises the question: what's going to happen to the PS3 downloads? Because there's games I purchased from a PS3. If I can't download them again, I wasted money. And that prevents
eventually
me.
It's going to happen where you're going to have to like if you still want access to them, you're just going to have to re-download them.
Right. And that gives me pause to say, okay, let's say I get a PS4, even the PS5, which is now becoming pretty, obvious it's going to happen soon. Do I want to download games for that? Because eventually those games are going to end up not being downloadable anymore. Mm-hmm. All right, they're going to shut those down. What incentive now do I have as a gamer who, when I buy a game, I want the game for life?
That's why you buy a physical copy.
You can't get those anymore half the time.
Yeah, well, it depends.
Yeah, at least on the PC end, all you get is a Steam installer on a CD.
Yeah. And that's the thing too.
Nuts.
For just sake of conversation, my brother, he has an Xbox One, I have mine, and we have ours set up for the family share and whatnot. Where if I buy a digital game, he has access to it, and vice versa.
Right.
And all of the time, he's always like, "Hey, we should totally get this," and let's use. Okay, so the Resident Evil 2 remake came out, and I've been going just nuts with that game, and he was all like, "Hey, are you going to get this on Xbox so we can both play it?" And I'm like, "No, I want a physical copy because I need to add that to my collection because I have all of the other ones."
You can buy it twice.
Yeah, sure. Let me just drop $120, of money that I.
Yeah.
I got that, and I got Kingdom Hearts 3 coming out. Right now, my backlog is going to be full up.
It's only money. You can make more.
That is true. That is true. But that's just. I like physical because I can at least have access to them whenever. I still have a bunch load of. Actually, I still have almost all of the PS3 games I've ever. Well, not ever bought, but bought. And I won't get rid of them. I might not. I don't have my PS3 hooked up right now, but I'm not going to get rid of them because if I want to play them, I just go grab my PS3, slap it in real fast, and boom, I have access to all of these titles that I enjoyed and I want to play again.
A lot of the PS3 games I don't have that many. I have maybe 10 or so, but with the exception of a couple Sony only titles, I got a PC version of them already. Yeah. So I don't have Little Big Planet Karting and Uncharted 3. I think they are the two I don't have as a PC version. Everything else eventually was ported over. Yeah. No, this is a cautionary tale. Be prepared that digital downloads are not perpetual, at least from official sources. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, look at the PT, the demo.
Yeah.
Look, there are PS4s on eBay going for thousands of dollars because they have PT installed.
I still have my hard drive with that installed on it.
Yeah, you hold on to that sucker.
Yeah, well, I'll hold on to it just because PT was awesome. That was the best damn demo I've ever played.
Yeah. Thank you, Konami.
Yeah. Thanks, Konami. Yeah. You're hell of a guys.
Yep.
So, yeah, hopefully by the time anyone's listening to this, you would have downloaded everything you can off the Wii Shop, and if you didn't and you're finding out about it now, I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry.
And you wonder why ROMs are very popular on the internet when it comes to retro Nintendo games. Sorry. Sorry, Nintendo, but that's exactly what's going on. This stuff is BS because, if somebody, they bought, let's say they bought Super Metroid on their Wii dies. Now they have a Switch. They got to buy it again.
Yep.
Because it's the same game, but it's now for the Switch, it's still the same emulator software that's running this thing.
Yep.
Again, this is why ROMs and emulators are so popular with retro games, 2D platforming games especially.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
As much as Nintendo tries to fight it, it's going to be a thing.
It's here to stay. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. On another
sadder note,
maybe sad note, I don't know. This could go somewhere.
I think it's sad.
Well, I mean, ultimately, you know what? No. Like I can't say I am. So what we're gonna get into here is EA, you know, in typical EA fashion, there was an open world Star Wars game that was gonna come out, well, that they were working on, and it was canceled.
Shock, gasp, beside myself.
Oh no, I am so surprised that EA isn't coming out with another Star Wars game.
Yeah.
Damn.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, right.
This was kind of tied in with that. I think it was called Star Wars. It had a weird title, like a numbered title.
Not 1313.
It was kind of tied into that because that got canceled as soon as Disney bought Star Wars, and they just threw EA the license, and that just got axed right away. And this was kind of like a spiritual success, from my understanding, because this was about the grittier, dark side of the Star Wars universe. The cantina scene expanded,
okay,
yeah, and it got canceled, not canceled. The lady from the Uncharted got on board on it, and in the end, EA can't make perpetual money from this game. They can't get microtransactions because it's not an MMO. It's not online. It's a single player.
It's not a sports game, and it's not like some kind of a
It's Elder Scrolls Star Wars.
The shit out of this MMO or first person shooter or anything like that.
Yeah. So when this got canceled, this is where the call for Disney to pull the license from EA has been pretty strong.
Well, you know what's funny about this actually is I saw a video on this and I cannot remember who it was that was talking about this. So I'm not going to take credit on this. It was just something I saw that I was just like, once it was explained, like I saw the video and they were talking about it, I was just like, oh crap, you're right. So like, when did EA get I don't know if you actually know this or not, but when did EA get the licensing rights for the Star Wars video games?
As soon
I think it was
as
like 2008 or 9.
Well, as soon as the ink was dry on the deal with between Lucas and Disney, Disney wasted no time. They don't have a game studio of their own, really.
No.
They just threw it to anybody, and they did.
So,
because originally Lucasfilm had LucasArts, and LucasArts was the gaming company. That was dissolved immediately. Disney didn't want it, so they just threw the license to EA. Disney should restore LucasArts. And be the handler of not only any Lucas product license, but they can make it as the Disney gaming software company as well.
Yeah.
Put Marvel games underneath that license.
Well, something that was actually pretty interesting is let's just, for sake of conversation, let's just say, it was 2009 when EA got the rights for Star Wars games. So from the day that they got the rights to now, EA has pumped out two
Battlefields,
2 Star Wars games,
Battlefronts,
yeah, both Battlefronts, and only 2 of them, and they didn't do well at all. And then if you look at it, when LucasArts was in charge of everything, there was in the same time frame, in the same a 10-year span, if you will, there
10
was
games.
it was basically a game a year, if you will, compared to the 2 that EA has done.
Especially the mid to the late 90s, right before when the prequel movies came out, it really exploded. But even before the prequel trilogy came out, mid to late 90s, there was 2 or 3 games a year. Every year there was a new space simulator game from them. And that's just the Star Wars stuff. I mean, they had Indiana Jones games, the Maniac Mansion games, and
there was a lot more Star Wars ones.
Oh, geez, I'm killing myself for not remembering this. What's the pirate game?
Monkey Island?
Monkey Island. Oh man! All right, you got to get. I have to turn over my game credentials for forgetting that one.
Yeah,
the whole Monkey Island series. You know.
Yeah, there was a lot, and basically once EA canceled, openly said like, yeah, this isn't this isn't going to be a thing, and then everyone's like, all right, well, are you going to do something else? Right. And at least at the time that this was announced, and to my knowledge, there's still at least none said. They haven't come out and said, yeah, we're working on another one yet. Probably Battlefront 3, which just like, no, you've already ruined it twice. Like, just stop.
I mean, you had the chance to redeem it in the second one. I mean, you had the right idea. We're not going to charge for expansion packs. Fantastic. But the alternative was probably worse.
Oh, God, yeah.
So, like I said, I think a franchise like Star Wars needs an in-house developer publisher like LucasArts was. It needs people who love the franchise to be in charge of it, because if it's not EA, who does Disney give the license to make these games? Activision?
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much the other big company out there. I mean, everyone else is basically a publisher right now. I think 2K is just a publisher right now, right? Yeah. I mean, there's no one really. Disney's going to have to refire up Lucasarts, and they could it doesn't have to be just the Lucasfilm licenses. You can have Marvel games come out of that, Disney games come out of that. All right. And, but this way you have it in-house and you have the people who love this stuff work on it. Mm-hmm. Although admittedly, I know later on LucasArts became more of a publisher than a developer, and that started around 2000. Late 90s, 2000s when that started. They started just handing it out to other people to work on the games.
Yeah.
But they still had oversight. That's the key. So, I don't know. It's just, George, what the hell did you do to us, man? What the hell did you do to us?
Yeah. So, moving on though, Mike. What do you want to tell me about this next one that we have here? Because this is pretty interesting to me.
Well, in case people don't know, Ron, I think on a scale of 1 to 10, Ron's opinion on Final Fantasy VII is what, like a 6, 7? Somewhere around there. I mean, I know you're not that crazy for it, but
I would go with something around there.
Yeah. While we're waiting forever for the Square to finally make a proper remake for this game, the collective intellect of the internet has decided to take it upon themselves to mod a HD version of Final Fantasy VII. As anyone who's played it on the PS1 and pretty much every single port ever made knows, it's basically much like Ocarina of Time. It's 3D models on a flat two-dimensional picture, right? A lot of the maps are. The problem is that back in 2000 on a CRT television, that didn't look half bad, right?
A little bit older than 2000 there, my friend.
I'm going off the top of my head. But when it came out, everyone still had CRT televisions, and they looked pretty all right at 480 interlace resolution. Now everyone's got at least HD 1080p, and playing that game today looks like crap, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Well, somebody decided to take the low resolution pictures and run it through a neural network AI that will up the resolution of these pictures. And it is, for lack of a better word, fantastic. These are fully re-rendered, and they look absolutely beautiful. They look something that you can actually visually play today.
Yeah.
And, it's amazing how it works because it'll fill in details that weren't there because obviously you don't have that many pixels to give that detail, but obviously look like it could fit.
Yeah, I did see the sorry, as you were talking there, and I'm trying to scroll through the notes, my damn mouse died. Oh. So I had to play with it while we were talking to try to actually, get it to recognize. Yeah. Anyway, I did look at some of the imaging on it, and it's really impressive.
Right.
Like, if I was good with modding, I would want to, I would definitely make it a point to get my hands on it.
This is not something we can go and download and just click an executable and it installs. This is good old-fashioned PC modding at its finest. You actually have to hunt down this stuff, and you have to hunt down where you installed Final Fantasy VII on the PC and actually install this manually. Yeah. All right. I love that stuff. I know it's not for the faint of heart. If you got Final Fantasy VII off of Steam, the worst you can do is just delete it, re-download it, reinstall it, start from scratch again to try to reinstall it to get the mod in. But all those flat two-dimensional pictures are great now. You can see the fine grain on the wood and the bar, and it's great. All they need to do now is actually put in high HD textures on the models.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Unless you, of course, if you want to keep that PS1 look, which I'm sure a lot of people would as well. And that's the great thing about modding. You get to pick and choose like a buffet.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So I'm glad people do this. Obviously, this is not sanctioned from Square. I'm hoping Square is not going to be a bunch of jerks and put the kibosh on this, because they need to understand that this is a fan-made mod. No money's being made. And rest assured, Square, even with people playing this game with the mod, they're still going to go buy your HD remake anyway.
Oh,
when it eventually comes out.
If it ever comes out, I'm fairly confident. It took 13 years for me to get Kingdom Hearts 3. Yeah. It's probably going to take another 13 years for me to get Final Fantasy 7.
As long as they don't pull an EA or Activision, they got money in the bag.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. If we start seeing microtransactions for Cloud's hair, we got a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. So. They'll be big. People will freak.
Yeah. Even if it's cosmetic, I think people will still freak.
Probably.
Yeah. So.
I mean, I will say, if anything, to end on this, I do find it funny where modders are getting more done for a remake than, well, even though it's technically not a remake, but making more of a remake than what Squaresoft has been.
Never underestimate the power of collective autism.
There you go.
All right. It's what makes the internet great.
So, on this last little story here, Mike, I'm going to give you the honors. I want you to give the rundown on this one, because this is actually pretty cool in my opinion.
Well, there's a very popular type of speed run out there, and it concerns Super Mario Brothers 3, and that's the any percent warpless speed run. And what that is you can complete as many levels as you want, but you can't use the warp whistles. So that means you got to go through all worlds 1 through 8. And if anyone who's remembered playing Super Mario Brothers 3 can tell you that ain't easy, right?
No.
So, I mean, when you have a choice between one world or the other, when the map splits, you can obviously skip them. This is not a 100% warpless record. This is just any percentage. And people have been knocking this speed run down to under an hour, and
which is impressive
by itself. But now I gave even more impressive, because what was thought to be completely random can actually be manipulated. And what can be manipulated is how the Hammer Brothers walk around the world after each level.
Okay.
Apparently, if you complete certain levels on a certain frame, and a frame is, in layman's term, like a section of time as the game is being processed through the console, and it's really short explanation. That determines how the Hammer Brothers move on the map. And the hammer brother you want to manipulate is the one in World 2 that has a hammer that you can bust a boulder with. And what one of the big speedrunners out there, Mitch Flowerpower, did earlier this month was to run a speed run where he had a tool-assisted speed run at the same time. And he would follow the cues on that, and when to get, he gets to the end of the level and he'll wait for the cue to pop up to hit the card to end the level. And that tells him, that he's on par with the frames. The hammer brother with the hammer in World 2, he was able to pull out, and he came out before World 2-3.
Okay.
All right. So he got the hammer there. That allowed him to skip World 2-3 and the desert level with that angry sun, and shoot right over to the pyramid, and shaved off like 30 seconds or something from the speed run, which with speed runs, that's a lot of time.
Yes.
Along with a lot of clipping. The famous one is to be able to clip through the door on World 7-1. I don't know if you remember from way back in the day, Ron, 7-1 was this long vertical pipe level that took forever. Well, you can. I know it's been a long time.
It's been a while since I've.
Well, there's an outside entrance to this world, but if you clip through the wall at the door, you can go right through, and you're out the other side, and then you can just go right ahead and hit the card, and you're in the level. And so you shave off whole minutes from playing that level. And there's other areas where he clips too, and he also grabs a Hammer Brothers suit, and he uses that to kill Bowser, which is a lot faster than using the Fire Flower. Anyway, he finished it in 50 minutes and 36 seconds.
Which is impressive.
Very impressive. It's the new world record. And he was the first one to use the manipulation on the Hammer Brothers. So this game is now, 30 years old? Over 30 years old? And there's still things being found out about this game and how it works. And I mean, personally, this is my favorite Super Mario Brothers game of all time. I mean, I know a lot of people like World and 64, but I still think Mario 3 is the best.
Yeah. And
I'm happy to see that this is still being played, and people are still trying to speedrun it.
Yeah.
So, good for you, Mitch. I couldn't sit down and watch the whole 50 minutes, but,
It's still cool that somebody did that.
I'll be honest. I finished it. I was able to beat the game on the Old Stars for Super Nintendo. I could never beat it on the regular Nintendo.
Okay.
I didn't have the time to actually sit down and play it.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And for a 6-year-old, that was a tough game. I mean, I thought it was an achievement getting through World 1. Thinking that actually I beat a Bowser, not knowing that, hey, there's a lot more to this cart than just these 6 levels.
Yeah, pretty much.
That was a mind blow. Of course, 6-year-old. I never read the manual. I didn't know about the other kings. So
yeah, right. Oh, the days when games had manuals. God.
Yeah, I mean,
you're showing your age there, bud.
Oh yeah, well, a boomer. What do you expect?
Yeah. Yeah.
Quake was a good game.
Well, Quake was a good game.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
so
anyway,
there's one other thing. I can't believe I almost forgot this.
That's okay.
And I swear to God, actually I lied, because there's going to be one other thing about after this that, because I don't want to end on this sad note. Like I can't end this on this sad note. But this part sucks. So myself and anyone else out there who currently has a Nintendo Switch that's been super hyped and waiting for Metroid Prime 4 because Nintendo came out and was like, yep, this is going to be a thing.
Yeah. They showed the number 4 and that was it.
That's all you had to do, to be honest.
Yeah.
But God damn it. It's Nintendo scrapped it.
Yep.
And has brought in Retro Studio.
Yep.
To start developing it over. Now, granted, I don't know if they're going over from scratch or if they're going to be using the assets.
My understanding, they threw the whole thing out with the baby with the bathwater. It's all gone.
That's a damn shame.
So something must have happened because this was this was well into development, and then they decided to scrap it. So somebody high up in Nintendo was playing this or taking a look at this and said, "This is not."
And did not like it.
No, something, and it was so fundamental, the problem, that they could not just fix it. They had to just scrap it, and to bring in another studio also tells me whoever was working on this, if this was another studio, or I hate to think this was R&D1 and Nintendo doing this, but they just want all fresh eyes and a whole new team, and they're actually just bringing back the same people that worked on the other Prime games, which they should have just done before. I don't know what was going on there. So Retro Studios is coming in, and then
hopefully to save the day.
Yeah, I mean, again, I haven't played into the Prime games. I like to see more 2D Metroid games. I haven't played the Samus Return one.
You've never played a Prime?
No, I didn't have
Get out of here.
No, I never had a GameCube.
All right. Oh my God.
I never had a GameCube.
I am angry with you right now. I can't believe you. I don't. Dude. Oh my God. Oh my God. All right.
The last Metroid game I played was the AM2R fan remake. And that's a fantastic game, by the way.
I heard it was, yeah. Like, I wish I could have gotten my hands on it.
I could get you a copy. It's not hard.
Well, then we need to, check that out.
We're going to have to hook up.
No, in all honesty, though, Prime, like Metroid Prime was, it was so much fun.
Oh, I bet.
It was really so much fun. So, like, it sucks that that we're going to be waiting probably a little bit longer for this. But I'm hoping that them bringing in Retro Studios is going to be good.
There was a lot of years between Metroid 2 and Super Metroid, and even a lot more years between Super Metroid and Fusion. So dedicated Metroid fans are used to the wait.
Yes, I mean, that is 100% true.
Metroid is one of the core franchises for Nintendo's, but it's never a launch title.
Oh, God.
Ever.
No.
All right. Mario usually always is, followed by Zelda, and then Metroid's like coming in a distant third.
Yeah.
That's generally how they always done it.
I'm still hoping, I'm really hoping for this one.
Yeah.
But because I don't want to end on a sad note, there was something that I didn't get to put in the show notes, but I did find out that I thought was very, very interesting, especially because who it is. So, all right, you know, Mike, how loot boxes, that is a taboo topic for gamers nowadays.
That could be an actual episode for us.
Of course. So Epic Studios or Epic Games.
Here we go.
On their biggest title that they have, all right, Fortnite. I mean, they just rake in the money on that game.
Damn Zoomers.
They got rid of loot boxes on there.
Really?
Yes. They did, but didn't get rid of them. So what I mean is this, okay? In Fortnite. Okay, so hold on, a little history here for you. Fortnite was originally supposed to be like a tower defense style game, if you will. Yeah. The Save the World was going to be their core game, and then the actual like Fortnite that you and I both know, or everyone else in the world, was kind of just supposed to be like a free add-on for it that people could play around with. Yeah. And then it got wildly popular. So in the Save the World mode of Fortnite, you could buy loot boxes. And now these loot boxes did contain things that would alter the game. But the big difference about this is the Save the World mode for Fortnite it's a PvE mode. Like you couldn't go against people in the campaign version of the game, which is what had the loot boxes.
Makes sense.
Yes. So they actually got rid of these loot boxes. Kind of. And well, they kept the loot boxes, but instead of them having random items, you actually, they tell you what's in them. And it's not like, hey, here's because in Fortnite they're llamas. So here's your llama, and you can have, a chance to get like this item, or this item. There's a chance you might get one of these 4 items in here. Like, no, that's not the case. They actually, like, when you go to the screen where you could purchase your loot box, they actually show you like, listen, hey, this box it will contain these X items, and that's it. And now, if you don't like what's in that particular box, you can basically in a day, it rotates. And then there's a new box that you can purchase, and they still tell you what is in that box. So there's no guessing. There's no chance at anything. It's like, hey, you buy this and you get these items. That's it.
Huh.
Now, I don't know if there's a way like where, like, let's say you're playing it and you're like, I don't like what's in here, but I don't want to wait another day. I don't know if there's essentially like you pay us X amount of, in-game currency and we'll rotate them. And now you have a chance not a chance, but now here's another box with stuff in it. Like if you can refresh it yourself or if you have to wait, is probably what I should have said.
Okay.
But they actually got rid of the gambling sense of it and actually put in a consumer friendly loot box, which when I heard this, I thought that was like really interesting, especially because it's Epic and like, they make so much money off of that damn game. Like, I am surprised that they are the ones to be like, nah, let's try this instead. So, little food for thought. Maybe that could be a thing where other companies actually do. I don't know.
I mean, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. Yeah, but I saw that, and actually, I'll give credit. I think it was no, I know who it was. It was actually Bellular put a thing out where he was talking.
You watch
about
anybody
that,
else?
The dude he's a beast. He just keeps putting videos up. Like, I swear to God, every time I refresh, boom, there's a new Bellular video.
See, with like Taliesin, it's nice and sweet. You get the 1 hour and you're good for the week.
Yes. Bellular, he's just, like I said, he's a beast.
Yeah.
But when I saw him put that up,
he's got 2 channels now.
Yeah, he's got 2. But when I saw that,
Linus
and I watched
was pretty bad on the YouTubes, but
what's that?
I thought Linus Tech Tips was bad on YouTube with all his channels and his constant videos.
Yep. No. This guy's
no.
I swear I don't think he sleeps.
No, he's a robot.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's one of the lizard people. We call him out. We're on to you, man. We know you.
Exactly. We know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I saw that and I was actually really impressed with that. So who knows? That could maybe be a thing that happens now. But
I mean,
fingers crossed.
One of these days, one of these episodes, I'd like to have like just an overview episode of not just loot boxes, but different ways we've purchased games, whether that was just full price one shot, expansion packs, DLC stuff, and of course the microtransactions and loot boxes.
Yeah,
and our opinions on all that. I think it would be nice to have an episode like that.
Oh, of course. We'll have to sit down and do that.
Just a nice, because I do miss the days of going to Electronic Boutique and dropping $40 on a nice big size box of Quake 3. Quake was a good game. And yep. Or TIE Fighter or something like that, big meaty box with a nice heavy manual, thick with page numbers on them.
Oh, God, manuals just in itself.
Yeah. There was a LucasArts game, Star Wars Rebellion, and the manual was a textbook. It was all shades of green. It wasn't really fully colored, but it was a full textbook because it was a strategy game, and it told you everything on this game. Man, did I spend a lot of time. That book stayed in the bathroom for months. All right, that was my go-to reading material. Yeah.
Which I'm not surprised.
No, and of course now you're lucky to get a end user agreement leaflet.
Oh God, maybe. Tell me about it.
Yeah, in fact, I'm surprised. If you get a physical copy, they don't just put the end user agreement right on the disc.
Hey, now don't give them ideas.
It's just an installer anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I have to say, what's that?
What was it? The Battle for Azeroth. I bought the physical copy. For the first time, there was no disc in there.
Oh, yeah.
No. I mean, I heard some people say that the Legion have it. No, they had they had 2 DVDs in that. But this time I was really disappointed.
There was nothing in there for Battle for Azeroth.
Not even an installer disc. They just gave up. You got your little Blizzard notepad and a instruction card of how to install it. To go to battle.net and enter the code.
Yeah.
That's Activision.
Yeah, I won't argue on that one.
No. So, anywho,
yeah. So I think that's all we got for you guys today. So,
yep.
Hey, I mean that it felt like, I mean, we got like what, 56 minutes here ish, 55 minutes here, and it's just went by super fast.
Sorry for the lateness with this one.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of stuff on our ends going on here, so it's we do try to get these out as soon as we can, but
life-changing events on my end. But
there's life stuff going on, so anyone who has to adults knows exactly what we're talking about. So
I'm well aware I'm behind on the YouTube videos on these episodes, but I get it all straightened out. I'll be churning those out again for sure.
Yeah. So hopefully, before too long we can kind of get back on track here, because there's a couple of different ideas that we've had on things we'd like to do and try out, but we just got to let things get normal before we can actually take the chance and the time to actually go and do what we want to try. So for those who have listened and made it through this episode, what's that?
Oh, what? So, I'm sorry. Did somebody say something? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't hear nothing. I mean, maybe I thought I heard like a faint whisper. I couldn't. Oh man. All right. Well, hey, whatever. But as I was saying, hey, to any of you guys who've made it this far, I thank you. Thanks for joining us. And hopefully 2019 is just as much of a crazy adventure as what 2018 was there for everyone. And we'll see you guys. Well, not really see you, but talk to you guys in the next episode.
I'll see you in my dreams.
Kinky.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.